I thought when I was a little person I wanted to be an inventor, but then discovered you couldn't study inventing. I went and did a degree course at a course that was in Manchester, and it was called Three-Dimensional Design, Wood, Metal, Ceramics, Glass and Plastics. And so it was kind of, what isn't? Everything was kind of 3D, and that was lovely about the course. But then was researching the education of the people who design buildings, and found that they never made anything, and that the world of architecture had become very cerebral. This has changed now, but back 25 years ago, someone studying to design buildings would have never mixed any concrete, would have never laid a brick, would have never done any joinery, and any model for anything, if there was a model at all, would be made out of white card. And I'd discovered that you could have ideas when you were making things. And so I spoke to my tutors and said, was it possible to design, to build a building? And they all went, no, make a model. And just thought, well, if you're going to mess up, college is the best place to mess up. And so I went to see the architecture department and said, why don't we make a building? So I showed them an idea, and they said, this isn't architecture. And so decided to try and go ahead with it anyway, from a little clay model like this, and realising that all my tutors were a little bit bored because everyone would do what they asked them to do, and say, well, what if we made a full-size building? And built this, the first time someone had built a building in the college.
When I went to study, I wasn't interested in studying something that limited me to one field of interest. And in a way, that's the spirit of this studio, is that if you think about ideas and you're creative, you can actually solve any number of problems.
You have to be excited about outcome, because it's really hard to get there. But because you keep thinking, yeah, but if we could manage to do that, that would have been worth it. I think people would enjoy that. But it's hard, really hard. It's like a marathon. If you're expecting it to just be joyous, riotous fun all the way through, it's not like that. But you've got to enjoy all the day-to-day stuff with the goal of why it's worth it. It's endurance. I can't pretend this is not like, ta-da! We present it as if it's, ta-da! This is endurance.
The most important thing really is seeing if they've got a spark of imagination, if actually they've got a personality that's inquisitive, is interested, is open. So it's actually looking for people who are confident.
It's like sort of three things. It's someone who has the confidence to sort of think about ideas, but also has determination, because determination is more important, weirdly, because you can at least be determined to find an idea, and then also be up for working with people. We need people who speak up and tell Stuart when his idea isn't going to work, and tell me that that's going to take too long. And because that's how our best projects are, like an accumulation of lots of discussions. We know that one of you, if you're in one of our reviews, might point out something that our own team are too close to. So always don't think, oh, well, I'm young, I don't know, so I wouldn't say. And we've had those lovely moments. We've had a work placement person who's 16, who came and joined us for 1 week, said something incredibly useful, and it's just hilarious. I love that moment. You've got around you like 25 degrees within everyone who's standing around, and someone goes, you go, that's a really good point. Let's start again, let's rethink that. You don't have to have degrees, you don't have to have a good point. Education's great, but it's just thinking, just really thinking, and having the courage to say what you think.